the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. My good name is Womboy. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Lean, hi. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. How are you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the live stream. When you join in, can you like the live stream and subscribe? Good to see you too. Good to see you. So this is the second live for the day. I am feeling good. I'm feeling great. How are you guys doing? 2 days left. 2 days left to the dancing. That's good. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. When you join in, can you like the live stream and subscribe? My good name is Omboy. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're talking about something that never talked about. So we are talking about why is her virginity more important than his. So I know this is a PG topic. So this is a PG topic, but yeah, so if you don't mind, you can stay. If you, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Okay, but in the meantime, let's say hi. Let me know where you're watching me from. Let me know what's the time where you are at. We did do a whole show doing the whole time zone and all of that. So welcome to the live stream, everybody. When you join in, like the live stream and subscribe. Wow. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. Did you watch the video from Sing and Dance? Yeah, I think I did. I did do like a glance on it. I liked it. I liked it. Welcome to the live stream, you guys. My good name is Omboy. We are talking about why is her virginity more important than his. Why is her virginity more important than his? That's what we're gonna be talking about. Yeah. I know it's like a taboo topic, but that's what you're gonna be talking about. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. My good name is Omboy. Thank you so much for being here. We're talking about why is her virginity more important than his. Okay, so do you have an idea? Why is her virginity more important than his? Okay, we always talk about purity when it comes to women. Okay, we always talk about how women are supposed to preserve themselves, how women are supposed. Wait, I have to walk my dog. We'll be back later. Okay, see you. Okay, welcome to the live stream, everybody. We're gonna be talking about why is her virginity more important than his. Okay, and this is literally a topic that, of course, it's controversial. Okay, we always talk about a woman's purity, but we never talk about a man's purity. Why is it important for a woman to be pure, but a man is not supposed to be pure? Okay, Joshua Mande says hi to you. We're gonna be looking at why is her virginity more important than his. Okay, let me even remove the jacket because this is literally a topic that needs full attention. Why is her virginity more important than his? Okay, growing up, everybody used to talk about the way, like, oh my god, that lady, she's a virgin. First of all, let me give you a close-up look. So we're talking about why is her virginity more important than his. Let me know, why do you think her virginity is more important than his, especially men in the chat? Why is her virginity, and I'm eating chocolate, sorry. Why is her virginity more important than his? When I was in high school, first of all, I grew up in the village. Okay, So which means for me, like, I was always that person who is closed up, you know, and how you're raised in the village. But when I went to campus, there were so many city girls, okay? And one time I overheard this girl saying, "Oh my God, I broke my virginity last holiday." And some of them were saying, "I'm gonna break my virginity this holiday," okay? And that got me thinking, like, is this something that I should really do? But it was always emphasized, especially when you go to church, you should preserve yourself till marriage and all of that. But then today we are asking a question that nobody is willing to ask, okay? Why is her virginity more important than his? Why is a woman's preserving herself for marriage? Why is it more important than a man preserving himself for marriage? Why do we have such a double standard when it comes to the same? Okay? Why do we have that? Like, why? Okay, why does a lady have to preserve themselves? Why do we celebrate a lady's purity, a lady's virginity, but celebrate a man's experiences? Okay, that's what you're gonna be talking about. So I would want us to maybe start with a question. So is virginity a preference, a value, or control issue? Okay, is virginity a preference, a value, or control issue? That's what you're gonna be talking about. I know this is a topic that, like, maybe you guys will be like, you don't want to comment on, but if you're listening, say hi so that we can keep going. Let me type the question. Okay, welcome to the live stream. Oh, Diamas, good to see you. How are you doing? Diama says, what is more important, the people that enter a temple or the temple? Those who enter the temple need the temple, but it is the temple that holds the power of virtue. What? Explain. Okay, how does that, what does that mean? Okay, guys, is virginity a preference, a value, or a control issue? Okay, we're talking about why is her virginity more important than his? Okay, why as a society, why have we mostly emphasized on, like, a woman should be a virgin or a woman should be pure before she gets married? Okay, so that's what you're talking about. So first of all, in my opinion, I think the fact that, like, a woman being a virgin and a man finding a woman to be a virgin, it kind of, like, mostly emphasizes, especially when they have a child together, it emphasizes that this child is mine, like something of that sort. I think I don't know, there's nothing that justifies how society, you know, society celebrates a woman's virginity and praises a man's experiences. Okay, so when a man he have a lot of body counts, we call that, oh, this man is just experienced. But when a woman have the same, she's a bad word. Okay, she's a slut. Okay, Diamond says, apply that principle to men and women. Men enter women. God, what? This conversation, PG. How? Where do I rate this? I think I already did. I rated it PG-18. Apply that principle to men and women. Men enter women. Men enter the temple, but the temple has to be virtuous. Okay, so are you saying that the temple has to be righteous, like women have to be righteous? Okay, no. Is it that women have to be righteous? Guys, don't just watch without commenting. Say something. The silent viewers, I know it's like, this is like, oh my God, this is too much. We don't want to say something, but you gotta say something, okay? Because at the end of the day, we literally need to solve this, okay? The double standard, many society praise men for having sexual experiences while expecting women to remain virgins. Okay, so why are the standards different when both are participating in the same act? Why are the standards different? Why do we praise a man for having many sexual experiences and condemn a woman for not being a virgin or for even having sexual experiences? Dema says, no, not that they have to be, but that is why a woman's virginity is more important than a man's virginity. Wow. So do you approve that a woman should be a virgin? Is it that a woman should be pure every other time? Okay, so guys, welcome to the live stream. We are talking about, and this is literally a topic that is PG, okay? PG 18. If you know you don't want to listen, keep moving. So why is her virginity more important than his? Why is her virginity more important than his? Like we always talk about, a woman. Oh, that woman. She was a virgin. Why is that even more important? Like, why do we praise a man's experiences? Okay, why do we celebrate a man's experiences when it comes to sexual activities, but condemn women who have the same exact experiences and call them sluts? Okay, like what's the gist? Jacob, oh my god, you guys, all of you decided to show up today. Are you guys in communication? How are you doing? I think the same, both should be the same. Okay, yeah, so which means like us sitting here and saying that that men are supposed to be pure, no, women are supposed to be pure and men should just experience sex is literally unfair. And this is one of the things that I usually talk about. You all know that I am not a feminist, but when it comes to this, why is her virginity more important than his? Like, can somebody explain to me like a young child? Diamond says the standards are different because of the physical act. The physical act caused someone to enter her, whereas to him, he's not violated. Oh, wow. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. Why is her virginity more important than his? Okay, so wow. Wow. Demas is saying it's because the woman is being penetrated while the man is not. Okay, so the woman is being violated while the man is not. Okay, he's the violator. Okay, God. I think this is such a complex topic. Jacob says hi, Diana. Stop, Jacob. Diamond says yes, both should be the same, but they are not. Okay, so how do you guys feel about that on a personal level? Like, would you marry someone who is not a virgin? uh, Diamond says I apologize for being graphic, but 6 is the is the reason the two are different. Okay, wow. This is too much. Jacob says the man worries if he's not as good as the last lover. Oh, okay. Would you marry someone who is not a virgin? Would you? And this one I'm posing to the men. Okay, would you marry someone who is not a virgin? Why would you worry about that? Like, first of all, how would you know how the last one was? And how would you know about that? Like, just concentrate on what you're doing as a person. Like, why would you worry about, like, what the other lover was like? Diamond says, Jacob, we don't have to tell her everything. Jacob says, in UK, you are lucky to find a virgin. I think it's everywhere. Like, why do you guys expect to find virgins where you guys are not? That's just the real question. Because, first of all, like, you want to have experienced this and you want her to have not experienced this. Really? Are you even being serious? Okay, it's not even a country thing for sure. But it's like, also, first of all, I also think all the virgins in the Bible were children. Okay? Let's start from there. All the virgins in the Bible were children. Because I think men have this thing of like thinking about virgins. Guys, the question that we are dealing with right now is like, would you marry someone who is not a virgin? Okay? I think men have this thing. All the virgins in the Bible were children. Okay? So, which means you don't expect to meet a 30-year-old woman who is a virgin. Really? Okay, guys, the question is, why is her virginity more important than his? Guys, first of all, we can keep subscribing and liking. Thank you so much for being here. I think both should be virgins, and that would be okay. Yeah. So let me. I think I would say, if you're not a virgin, stop looking for a virgin. Okay. If you're not a virgin, stop. What is it called? Stop telling women to be that. Okay. Diamond says, find a virgin over 21, and yes, I would marry a non-virgin. But if there were more choices, then maybe not. Wow. Find a virgin over 21. Okay. Can you? Do you still do Rido? I kind of backed down on that because, like, people who like Ridos have not been showing up. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Omboy. Today we are talking about something that people rarely talk about. We're talking about, why is her virginity more important than his? Like, why do we always emphasize about women's purity but just allow men to be, like, allow men to have experiences? Why do we celebrate men who have experiences while condemn women who have the same exact experiences? Okay, so yeah, the rhinos kind of like died out, especially, the thing is, you have to because women are meant to be perfect. But can you see how that is unfair? Can you see how that is literally unfair to women? Like, why? Even men should be perfect. Men should be perfect. You're the one who wants her. Like, you're supposed to be perfect, and she's not supposed to be perfect. You're the one you're the one who wants her. Daima says, I feel it may also have to do with women can get pregnant, but men get to choose if they are pregnant. Wow. Okay, men get to choose if they are pregnant. Okay, I can see that. Okay, so first of all, of course, I did do some research before you came here. Of course, I do have my own thoughts, okay? But so historically, men wanted to know their children were biologically theirs, okay? Before people could do this whole DNA thing, so men wanted to have women who are never touched by anybody else, so that they know any child that comes off of that woman, they know it's theirs, okay? Because so that's what made virginity to be highly valued historically. It was just a way for a man to know that the children are literally his, okay? But when you look at it, like, somebody could even be a virgin and the child not be yours, okay? So wow, yeah, okay. So I see what you're saying. Women can get pregnant, but men get to choose if they are pregnant. Men get to choose if they are pregnant. Okay, they get to decide, do I want to be part of you? But I think, thank you to DNA, because being able to do DNA right now, like, honestly, you literally, if you are the father, you literally have to be the father. Otherwise, child support. Boom. Daima says, on Jacob's note, women do expect a level of perfection from our women, whereas women are more accepting of the lack of perfection within a man. On Jacob's note, men do expect a level of perfection from our women, whereas women are more accepting of the lack of perfection within a man. Wow. Okay, I think women should start expecting a level of perfection from their men. Okay, that's what I think. Women should start expecting a level of perfection from their men, because the truth is, by allowing men to get to just live life without thinking, like, honestly, a man having a huge body count is not a turn off for a woman, but a woman having a large body count is a turn off for a man. Why is that? I think we should also start seeing that as a red flag. Like, if you have a huge body count as a man, then we are like, wow, no way. What? No way. You have 20, like 20? Oh my God. We should start, we literally should start doing that. Like we literally should start making men feel the way they make us feel. But I'm not being a feminist, you guys don't cancel me. I'm just saying that it's so unfair. It's so unfair. Like, yeah. uh Diamond says no, realistically neither will find perfection, so making the mistake men make isn't going to make anything better. Focus on helping me to become more realistic. Okay, because the thing is, like, and I think the whole thing about, and I don't want to get very graphic here, I think the whole thing about quote unquote romanticizing virginity, that's what is making women fall into bad temptations and end up in jail for years. Because yeah, unfortunately, that's why people are even sexualizing children, because you're so stuck on this thing. I want to be the first person to do that to this girl. Okay, so then I think that's why men, because you'll see somebody with like a wife, their wife, and then they're still looking for young girls, like small girls and stuff like that. So to be really honest, I kind of feel like the whole virginity thing is realistic if somebody is literally under 18. I think so. Over 18 is literally very, unless you guys have been dating from childhood, because of course she's gonna experience. What do you expect? Okay. So let me ask a question right here. If virginity matters, should it matter equally to both genders, and why? Oh, okay, you type for me. That's so easy. Oh, Lord God. Thank you. If virginity matters, should it matter to both genders? No. Why? Okay, she's no longer used to me being around. Okay. Oh God, I remember that was so easy. That was so easy. Like right now, I usually read a question and then I just type it myself. Thank you. If virginity matters, should it matter to both genders, and why? Okay. If virginity matters, should it matter to both genders, and why? Okay. I think if virginity matters, it should matter. So if you're talking about purity, then it should be both of us being pure. Okay. If you're talking about never having any sexual experiences, then I feel like it should be both of us never having any sexual experiences. Okay. The whole thing about like sitting there and saying the whole thing about sitting there and saying, okay, you have to be pure, you have to be, and you having a whole different, somebody expecting you to have this experience and they have this experience is literally just so much uncalled for. Like, no. Okay. So if virginity matters, should it matter equally for both genders, and why? So I think why is because like you shouldn't be looking for something that you're not. Yeah. I think you shouldn't be looking for something that you're not. You should actually be looking for something that you, exactly who you are. That's what you should be looking for. Looking for something that you're not is literally insane, in my opinion. Okay, looking for something that you're not is literally insane. Because why would you do that? Why would you do that? Diamond says the keyword here is should. No, it should not matter. But let's get back to reality. Does it matter? Yes. Do women care if a man is a virgin? No. Do men and women care if a woman is a virgin? I think yes. Okay. What? Yeah. That's just wild. That's just wild. That's just wild. Okay. And of course, like we are told, like if you're married as a virgin, or like if you are a virgin, when you get married to your person, that they appreciate you more, they love you more. But I don't think that's the case. Like, somebody who is gonna love you is gonna love you even with a body count of 50 or whatever. Okay. The whole thing that like somebody can only appreciate you if you're something specifically is literally out of this world. Is it? And I feel like also the whole thing about like virginity is also about ownership. Men want to feel like they own their women. So if they are not able to feel that, then that becomes a problem. Okay, men want to feel like they own their women. Eshan Esh says, "Oh my God, welcome on board. How are you doing? Why did you say oh my God?" We're talking about why is her virginity more important than his. And we do have a question on the screen. If virginity matters, should it matter to both genders, and why? Okay. Diva says, I agree. Being a virgin does not generate more love. Okay, I agree. Being a virgin does not generate more love, but it does increase the chances of finding love for women, not men. Okay, and you know what is gonna happen? So that they can find out if you are a virgin, they're gonna test you out. Okay, they're gonna say, you know what, I cannot buy a car without road testing it. And you know what happens? They take away your virginity, and now you're back to square zero on the streets. How do women end up not being virgins? By being tested or tested. Okay, how do men end up not being virgin? By wanting to test. Okay, so I feel like it does not increase the chance for a woman to find love. It just increases the chance for a woman to get used. Okay, and that's not literally my mindset when it comes to sexual experiences. That's not my mindset, but unfortunately that's people's mindset. That's not my mindset, because like I just like to see men and women as like, I know like we can't compare the strength of a man to that of a woman, but I like to think about us as human beings. So which means the experiences for me are literally, the way I see it, they are literally similar. Okay, the way I see it. So Diamond says you cannot use a woman. A woman has to allow herself to be used. And that's what I'm saying, that like my mindset, I don't have that mindset of like a woman can be used. I don't have that mindset. I just pretty much think, okay, I pretty much think how I think. I feel like a woman cannot be used, but I think the whole virginity mindset makes women feel used when men sleep with them and never marry them. That's what I'm saying, okay? You cannot, first of all, persons like somebody like me, like how I see it is just like you're having sexual experiences, even as a woman. Do you want to do it? Yes. So is that being used? No, okay? But us mostly emphasizing on virginity and like emphasizing on women being pure, that kind of like emphasizes on women feeling like if you somebody sleeps with you and they don't marry you, then that's where that mindset about men using them comes from. That's just my thinking. Eshansh says, I said, yeah, okay, where do you think this mindset comes from? It comes from patriarchy, like people saying that like the whole virginity mindset is literally a problem. So where do you think the mindset comes from? And Eshash, okay? Guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Womboy. We're talking about why is her virginity more important than his? Why is her purity more important than his? Okay? Why is her purity more important than his? Okay? And also, like, I have to say, the whole mindset about the whole thing about like us emphasizing on women's purity and not emphasizing on men's purity is literally like unfair. It's unfair for the women. Okay, so why is her virginity often treated like a treasure? Okay, why is a woman's virginity treated like a treasure, like something that, oh god, that's a treasure? Okay, why did African women, why did they usually like, okay, traditionally African women, especially after you get married, they used to have like a white sheet. These are stories that I was told, or like we learned in school, especially in CRE. Okay, we were never, can you imagine being taught that in your CRE, like Christian religious education? Can you imagine being taught that in school? Isn't that wild? Even thinking about it, we were taught that in school. These are just stories that I learned in school, but I have never seen that happen in real life. I don't know if that ever happens in real life, where like your in-laws brings you a shit and then in the morning they come to look if there's oh my god, like the way we literally make women to be objects is literally insane. Diamond says if 20 people walk into a room and get slapped, then why is the 21st person to enter the room surprised when they get slapped? Since single, since man single mothers came from broken promises, then why aren't women making better choices? Wow. Okay, but the thing is, why do you guys slap? Why would somebody slap somebody? Okay, why would you like promise somebody like you want them and then just keep it moving? Like, why would you do that? That's the other question. Why would you do that? Because it's literally unfair that you guys are going out there experiencing women, but expecting the women that you end up with long term, the one that you end up marrying, expecting them to be virgins, is literally insane, considering the fact that you guys are still out there breaking promises that you're making to women. Oh my god, I'm gonna marry you. Okay, but as soon as you take away her treasure, the one that the society looks at and like thinks, oh my god, this is such a great thing. Okay, so when you take that away from her, like, why would you expect yours, the person that you end up with, why would you expect them to be virgin? Diamond says, I really need to prove my work better, since man should have been since most. Okay. And she says, a lot of areas. Difficult to talk it down to one factor. But yes, for millennia, the patriarchal structures perpetuated this narrative via language, cultural practice, religious dogma, pseudoscience. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine how I learned that, like, about virginity is through school? Because I've never seen that happen in real life. I've never been talked about that by any of my parents. But in school, you are being taught about the virginity, the traditional African practices, where like they would lay a white sheet, and in the morning the in-laws would come to check if there is blood on the thing. You know, it's literally ridiculous to even I just hope they don't teach that in school right now, because honestly, that's literally so unfair. Because if you're gonna teach our young girls that their purity is a treasure, we also need to teach these boys that their purity is also a treasure. Okay? Dema says, yes, men are wrong for doing this. But at what point do women take responsibility for their choices? Okay, but at what point do men stop putting expectations on women? Okay, at what point do women okay, women will own their actions. Okay, you'll say, you know what, I put myself there. Okay, I wanted to have that experience. Okay, but at what point will you guys stop having unrealistic expectations? Like, what point? Okay, because looking for a 40-year-old virgin is literally insane. To say the least. I am sorry. Okay, but somebody let's say a 40-year-old man being out there looking for a 40-year-old virgin or 30-year-old virgin is literally insane. Because even in the Bible, when you look at Mary, she was literally a young woman. Okay, when you look at all those people who were pure and virgins, they were children. Okay, a 40-year-old virgin, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, if we are looking for virgins, that means that you guys we don't want to say those words, but it's maybe you guys are looking for this, you know. Okay, because it's literally insane. Why would you do that? Like, why would you're a 40-year-old but you're looking for a virgin? Really? Okay, even looking for like a 25-year-old virgin is literally wild. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Omboy. Any like the live stream and subscribe, would really appreciate that. Okay, so I had already gone live today during the day. We might end up just doing 1 hour on this one. So, but let's keep going with the questions. So, would you date someone whose sexual history is different from yours? Would you date someone whose sexual history is different from yours? Okay, would you date someone whose sexual history is different from yours? Wow. I again did type it. Oh, like the live stream, share the love and subscribe. You know what? I typed it again. Sorry. God. A habit is a disease. Would you date someone whose sexual history is different from yours? Define different. Let's say for you, you've not been out there. Like, let's say they have a wild body count of like 50 and you only have 10. Would you date them? Would you date someone? Would you date someone whose sexual history is different from yours? Would you date someone whose sexual history is different from yours? Okay. Thinking, okay. Uh-huh. So what I'm saying is like men, the dating history of a man or like even sexual experiences of a man is treated like an achievement, okay? Like the more the people is like, oh my god, dude, like daddy. When it's a woman, it's like, whoa, sharp, shut up. You know, with the UK accent. Shut up. Shut um so if so the thing is like the truth is like if two people are involved in the same act, okay, if two people, it's like if you somebody like a man and a woman commits a crime, okay, so will the woman be charged different just because she's a woman? Will the man be charged different just because is a man? Okay, so if two people are involved in the same act, why are they judged so differently? And that's the real question. Like, if two people are involved in the same act, why are they judged so different? So, is this tradition, biology, religion, or simply a double standard that society refuses to let go of? Emma says, I think it would depend on the woman. I know I will regret this, but it depends on how physically hot she is. The hotter the hotter the girl, the greater the forgiveness. Okay, you are like, you don't mind. Okay, you know, but the same way that a woman is able to come into your life and not think about your past, I think men should also embrace that. I think men should also embrace that. Okay, I don't know, do we have any other question when it comes to this topic? Okay, but I think the bottom line is society protects her virginity but celebrates society protects her virginity but celebrates his experiences. uh CJ. Hey, pretty lady. Hey, you, CJ. Good to see you. Oh my god, it's been a minute. I think I didn't stream last week, and most people just know that I have stopped streaming. How have you been doing? And she says, one boy, the more one reads history, the more they realize how primitive humans are. You know, and you know, I think that's just what it is. Like when you look at even the experiences of men and women in the past, you'll just realize you will realize how, like, honestly, the people who think that they are so civilized, because I can't see why people who are civilized can think that way, like the way people think. CJ says, I'm glad to catch a live. Okay, oh my, finally, I think I've been also starting. For example, yesterday I started the live stream and then halfway through I just got bored and I just ended the live. Okay, so Aisha says humans are so quick to react yet so slow to introspect. Okay. Oh, Dema says, I like what Enshash was saying, patriarchal structures. Yeah, I also like that. Enshash says, humans are so quick to react, yet so slow to introspect, okay? Because I think it's literally, and as I'm saying that, it's when you look at even the way the society have treated the woman, over the years, especially when it comes to sexuality and things like that. You literally realize that, okay, the patriarchal society have always been the problem. And I'm not a feminist, that's just what it is. I'm not a feminist, but I'm just saying that the patriarchal society have always been a problem. So if you're just joining in, help us answer the question, why is her virginity more important than his? Why is her virginity more important than his? That's what we are asking, the question that we are asking today. Can you like the live stream and subscribe? My good name is Womboy. Yes. So I'm waiting for you guys' responses. Why is her virginity more important than his? Okay. And do you think that's something that society should carry forward, or should we stop teaching that to children? Okay, should we, because for example, like me, how I learned about that is through school. Nobody in real life have ever talked about that, but through school, that's where we have learned about that. Okay, but do you think that's fair? Do you think those are things that people should be teaching children? Okay, Daima says, it is kind of odd that we as mankind do tend to look at the past as blueprint instead of as a narrative for improvement. Oh my god, that. The fact that, yeah, you know, first of all, like some of the things that are literally backward. For example, the other day I saw somebody posting about pro-life, pro-choice, okay? And somebody asked, why are we back here? Like, that is a conversation that people have already had in the past. Like, why are we back to a point where, like, we are talking about those things? And this is in America, okay? This should be a conversation that is in third world countries, not in America, okay? So somebody was commenting that, like, why are we back here? Okay? Lynn, unfortunately, the topic for today is not friendly, like, for teenagers. Sorry. Okay, I don't know if you prefer to stay or leave. Okay, so we're talking about why is a woman's purity more important than a man's purity. That's what we've been talking about. Diamond says it's kind of odd that we as mankind tend to look at the past as blueprint instead of as narrative for improvement. Yes, the fact that we keep like looking at things from the past, like honestly, like how do we even say that, like, oh my god, my ancestors were doing this, my ancestors were doing that? Like, why are we still there? Why are we still there? Okay, so what do you prefer, Lynn? Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. We've been talking about how society protects a woman's purity but celebrates a man's experiences. Okay, so like what do you have to say when it comes to this topic? And literally, you guys can ask me anything. If you have any question, you can literally ask, and you guys can like the live stream and subscribe. Yes. I don't know if I can read that. How did even YouTube allow you to send that? We are back on the pro-choice because election and yet. What? Americans in the building, what do you have to say, CJ and Diamonds and everybody else? Okay, wow, that's brutal. I don't know if I can even read that. Tony, oh my god, it's been a minute before I saw you on the channel. How are you doing? I even don't know if I'm allowed to read that. Oh my god. Okay, but literally, like, the fact that what you said, that, like, the fact that we shouldn't be looking at the past, okay? The conversation around virginity, that's not supposed to be a conversation that we are having right now, okay? So I think right now, you know, if that's what you're looking for, like, but looking for, like, going around looking for a 30-year-old virgin is literally wild, okay? And when you meet women, and there's also another thing. There's a video that I came across whereby a woman is saying that she just gave birth and the doctor gave her like a husband stitch. I don't know if you guys know about the husband stitch. Tony says, I'm doing good. Hope you and everyone is well. Yeah, personally, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So what do you feel when it comes to the topic that we are having today? Why is her virginity more important than his? Why is her virginity more important than his? What was I saying? It was literally funny. Oh my god. It was what I was saying was funny. Where have I forgotten? Wow. No, I was talking about the husband stitch. Okay, there was a woman who said that she gave birth and the doctor literally just gave her the husband stitch, and also he went like he looked he winked at the husband and said, "You welcome," like "You welcome." Okay, how is that even a thing right now? Like, first of all, this is a woman who just gave birth for you. Okay, not for you, for both of you, but literally for you. This is a woman who gave you a child. Okay, this is a woman who gave you a chance to be a father. This is a woman who gave you a chance to like continue your generation, continue your family name. Like, why? Why would you be obsessed with her to be like as tiny as I don't know? Okay, why is even a husband stitch still a topic in the year? What is the year right now? Why is it still a thing in the year 2026? Literally. Tony says, I think kind of the same reason why men cheating and women cheating is viewed differently. The motive. Wow. Okay. Like a man cheating is just seen as, oh my god, like, oh, he did that. But a woman is like, what? Whoa! Are you kidding me? Are you serious? You know? But that's literally also wild. Like, it's literally wild. Okay? Like, are you kidding me? Why would she do that? Like, wow, she shouldn't do that. But a man is like, okay, he was just aroused at the wrong time. Another factor which Jacob touched on is that men are insecure when it comes to our virility, and a virgin doesn't know good from bad. This isn't the basis, but I feel like it's a factor. Oh wow. Okay, so you want to be the first so that she doesn't know if you're literally good or not. Okay, so maybe that's an insecurity that men have. Okay, you literally said that. That's literally an insecurity that you have, because if you know you're the best that there ever is, that shouldn't be something that concerns you. Like, okay, if you know that you're literally the best that there ever is, like, why would that even be your concern? Like, who was there, who was not there, what was the experience, what was not the experience? Why would that literally concern you? But of course, I'm talking from a woman's point. Okay, because even if as a woman you start thinking about like, oh my god, what was the other woman who was here doing, like it just becomes a lot. Good point as well. Men have sex physically, women tend to have sex emotionally. Wow. So what does that mean? Like when a woman have sex, but see, like in this day and age, I think because of the whole factor about I think there is a whole factor about men and women, and like that have changed because of even the type of things that we are seeing on Hollywood, what we are publishing, women just choosing themselves and their sexuality. And I think that has contributed for women to like to remove themselves from the experience. Right now it's not the same like it used to be. I don't think women are having sex emotionally right now, but it's a factor. But I don't think they are. Okay, so if we say so, how come? So how do people who do sex work, women who do sex work, how are they able to do that? They are able to disconnect themselves. So I feel like women in 2026 are able to disconnect themselves from the experience. That's just my thoughts. Diamond says, I'm not saying it's okay to cheat, but a man is being unfaithful with his body. A woman will be giving her body, heart, emotions, and more. I don't think so. I think in 2026 or right now, women are able to remove themselves. Okay? And they are just women who just wants to have the sexual experience only, nothing more. Okay? That's just what I feel. I don't know if it's true or not. But I feel like women are able to like remove themselves from the experience. Okay. Uh-huh. So let's see another question. I think today we're gonna be doing 1 hour when it comes to this topic because I had already gone live for like 2 hours. Uh, so should men and women be judged by the same standards? That's not true. Prove it. Send me their numbers. You know what? You can also as well Google. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll Google and I'll tell you another time. Okay. Should men and women be judged by the same standards? Should men and women be judged by the same standards? Should men and women be judged by the same standards? I would say yes. Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's no reason for you not to be judged by the standards. Like, yeah, if you're gonna be judging, if you're gonna be saying this rule for men, I think it should be the same way for women. If you're gonna be having a rule for women, then it should be the same thing for men. That's just my opinion. Like, I feel like, okay, wow, what happened? Wow, can you see the difference without the lighting? I kind of pulled something. Wow. I don't know if you guys can still see me. Wow. What? God. Diamond says, no, men and women are not the same. We see life differently and respond differently. As such, the standards to judge would be different. Okay, should men and women. Okay, so you just so should we drop that? Like, should we stop judging men and women the same? That's literally the question. Like, should we stop judging men and women with the same standards? Okay. Okay, and if this is your first time seeing me, you guys consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. We normally do most of these topics. They are not usually like this every other time, so we try to. I try to like change every other time. San says, welcome stream studio. How are you doing, San? Good to see you. How are you, dear friend? I'm good. How are you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Okay. So we are talking about why is a woman's purity more important than his. Okay, why is a woman's purity more important than his? Okay, society protects her virginity but celebrates his experiences. Why is that? Okay, why shouldn't we celebrate women's experiences? Okay, Tony says YouTube. Oh, you commented and then they removed. Are you using bad words? Wow, because you didn't show up. Try to like remove, don't use the, you would rather misspell words than spell them the right way. Yeah, I just rant that there are words that you shouldn't say here on YouTube, otherwise your channel gets like shadow banned or something. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give you time to type, Tony. Why is her virginity more important than his? Guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Womboy. We are talking about why is a woman's purity more important than his. Diana says, judging on standards. Do we judge men because of dirty house? No. Do we judge women because their kids can afford new clothes? Yes, if they are single mothers. We each have our own responsibility. We judge by that. Okay? So do you judge men, do you judge women because the kids can afford new clothes? Do you do that? Because I think, like, right now, I think we judge women for everything. When the house is dirty, we judge women. When the kids don't have bags, we judge women for giving birth with the wrong man. uh yeah, like, we literally just judge women. That's just what I feel. Like, we just literally judge women for anything. If they are single, but if they are married, if it is the man's responsibility to ensure the family is financially sound. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, when there is a man in the picture, it's like everything, especially financial. There is no house, your problem is the man. There's no this, there's no that. Yeah, but I think there's another form of, like, judging that now we have right now. Is like, if their family is failing, or like you're not doing good, then we are now blaming the woman for not making good choices when it comes to the men. God, literally ridiculous. Okay, Tori, I'm still waiting for you. Make sure you, like, don't type there, and do the thing that we usually do. Copy your message before you send it. Guys, welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much. Can you like the live stream and subscribe? Wow, have a lot of pimples on my face. Oh my god, I just feel for you, because honestly sometimes you just want yours to get red. Oh, Diva says, but that is fair judgment. However, we judge men the same way. He's hardworking and holds down a job, but his wife doesn't clean or cook. He picked a bad wife. Okay. Today I saw a video. It's like this guy. He usually records breakfast ideas. Okay, and then his woman. Both of them wake up in the middle of the night. It's 3 a.m. Okay, and then she's literally skinny. Maybe that's his type. Okay, he's literally skinny. She's literally skinny. She's over there just making burgers. I think they were making burgers. Okay, and everybody ignores the fact that the video was about the burgers. Everybody's talking about, is this what you come home to, bro? Like, no. Like, I can literally see her boss. What? Like, that's a bad choice and all of that. Like, first of all, like, where did the bad choice come in? Okay, Tony says, but it's along the lines of what Diamond said. Okay. Okay. Oh god, I honestly feel for you, because I know what it feels like for you to type something and then it doesn't go through. Guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Ombo. Can we say hi? We're talking about why is her virginity more important than his. Godson Blessed says, hello, Wamboy, the most beautiful feminist on YouTube. I don't want to be called feminist, because honestly, I feel like men don't want to support feminists. Honestly, like, I don't want to say that I'm feminist, but I just say that, like, I just want to look through what we believe in, okay? So, but literally, this is literally a question, and I'm posing it to you. So, why is her purity more important than his? Okay, like the live share, the love sub, the Queen Hujambo from Kenya. Thank you so much, Diamas. Ooh. if why is her virginity more important than his? That's what we are asking. Okay, I don't know if I would like to be, I don't know if I would like to be a feminist. Okay, let me see. Tony says a man's is it flower and a woman's flower is also judged differently because getting laid requires more work from one party than the other. Okay, so what's the flower supposed to be? Okay, so sorry for asking, but I know this, you're just doing this so that YouTube doesn't flag you. Tony, we honestly feel for you. We honestly feel for you. A man's and a woman's is also judged different because getting laid requires more work from one party than the other. Which party requires more work? The woman or the man? Like, in your opinion? Dema says to Tony, props bro, it drives me insane when that happens, and the least YouTube can do is tell you why it got blocked. Yeah, I think they need to formulate something whereby they kind of like show you or they underline the word that you should remove. Godson says, there's nothing wrong with the way you speak up. If anything, educated men respect it. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, in your opinion, why is her purity more important than his? Why is a woman's purity more important than his? Okay, Tony said a man's and a woman's is also judged differently because getting laid requires more work from one party. I'm assuming men. Okay, yeah, maybe getting laid requires more work from men, but I feel like it also depends with like the positions. I know this topic can be a lot. I'll guess you take the guess on the party. I think men. Is it men? Is the answer men? Godson says a woman's purity means that she's still innocent and not manipulative yet. Okay, but when it comes to physically, like being a virgin, why is that important? Is that important? Would you marry someone who is not a virgin? Then says men put in more effort, but women give up more. Okay, let me tell you, when it comes, this is literally my view when it comes to sexual experiences. Okay, I feel like there's nothing. Okay, first of all, today I came across somebody who was talking about something that made me think. Okay, like somebody says that being God, I'm trying not to use bad words. What do you say? Lord, which words do I use now? There's this woman, I think she's a feminist. She was saying that like there's nothing. God, which words should I use? I don't know if you guys. I'm trying to be not to be graphic. Okay, these guys are killing me seriously. I don't disagree. I just love the way they express it. Okay. You know what? I think I saw a woman saying, let me just say it. I don't know if YouTube will have a problem with me saying anything, but somebody was saying being God. Somebody was saying that like there's nothing comfortable about like a man penetrating a woman. There's nothing comfortable about that on the woman's end. Okay, you just play along because you're told that you're supposed to sit there and receive. Okay, and I say that because Diamond said that a woman gives up more. Literally, at the end of it all, you're the one who somebody was literally inside you. Like, you're the one who somebody just ejaculated inside you. Like, see, at the end of the day, yes, he's the one who did more, but like she gives up more. I feel like, yes, I do agree with you. Like, she gives up more. Like, she's the one who have been just she's the one that who have just been intruded, like somebody who have literally entered them. Okay, that's just what it is. Like somebody have just penetrated her, and that lady, she was saying that that the experience is intrusive. So yeah, God. This topic can literally get what is it called, you kind of like feel blushy when you're just talking about this. uh God's intruded. Entered. ah, God says, of course, I've never been with a virgin. That's a huge confession. And at my age and my educational level, it would be weird for me to get married to a virgin. And also, according to your experiences, can you imagine? It's like, I feel like somebody should feel ashamed, especially if you've had a body count of like 20 and above. You should literally feel ashamed going for a pure girl. Okay, not in that sense, but like literally, because I'm assuming that would be like you're going for somebody who is 18 or something of the sort. Like, honestly, it's like you're lying to her. Okay, but you saying that you've never been with a virgin is literally wild. Intruded. Guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Omboy. Thank you so much for being here. Are you still talking about why is her virginity more important than his? Okay. I just type anything like what you're thinking. Your wild thoughts. Your wild thoughts. That's what we need right here. Okay, so do you guys agree with that lady? I think I will find that video and I'll make a short with it. I'll find that lady's video. So she was talking about being, I'm trying not to use bad words, but she was basically saying that like women play along with like being penetrated. It's not that it's fun, okay? It's just that like you're being told that you're supposed to just go along with it, okay? And also there's another lady that I just bumped into today when I was still preparing for this video. She was talking about that like married women are literally forced into having sexual experiences even when they don't want to, because you know what, they are supposed to give their husbands conjugal rights, and if not, their husbands are going to look for other people. Okay, but isn't that wild to even think about that? Like, it's like you're being threatened. And I'm not saying that the sexual experiences are not great, because but it's just seeing people who are thinking like this is literally it kind of triggers something in your thinking. You're like, is that right? Is that not right? Okay. So let me see if there's a question that we have not covered. So why do some people care about virginity while others don't? Personally, I do judge a man's and a woman's differently. And also most people, at least for the men, okay? So how do you judge them? Like, how do you see a man and how do you see a woman? Diva says, I do agree that a woman is giving up more and is technically being violated, but let's not forget that it's still mutual pleasure. And no, that part is right, okay? It's mutual pleasure, and that's why it's important for the woman to consent, okay? But did you know that married women do not consent? Like, married people do not consent, especially in African countries. In United States, you guys are literally ahead of time, okay? There's even rules for that. In African countries, married women do not consent. Like, you're literally supposed to be there when your husband wants you to be there. Like, there's nothing about consenting. You are married, you know what you're supposed to be doing, okay? Okay, this man, by marrying you, agreed to monogamy, but he didn't agree to celibacy. That's what it is. Okay, did you know that married women, especially in African countries, and I'm just talking about African countries because that's what I know, like, you're not what is it called, you're not giving consent for everything. Like, your man has you whenever they want to. Like, for me, just being sexualized like that is literally no. Like, no. No, no. Okay, and you know what? Something that I'm wondering why you guys are getting censored when you write something, but I get to say whatever I want. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. We're still talking about why is a woman's purity more important than his. Let me know your opinion. Godson says, for me, the most important thing in a woman's is her mental health state. A lot of mentally damaged people are walking around perpetuating the cycle of trauma. Okay, yeah, because you know what, I think also the people who are teaching men how to be men and how to like pleasure a woman and how to see a woman's body, people needs to like stop making a woman's thing to be like eat. Okay, you know, uh eat, you know, all those things that we are saying, like, oh, I'm hit it, I'm at you know, all this, you know what I'm saying, like what people be saying these days, like, oh, I was just hitting it, like, why would you say that? Like, I feel like people, okay, and I feel like that kind of like brings the whole excitement to it, but I feel like men needs to be trained differently. I honestly think that. Dema says, in the US, not only does a wife have to consent, she can have her husband charged with, oh, okay, wow, okay, interesting. But see, in African countries, we don't have that. Honestly, you can't even report that. Like, you will be asked, what did you expect when you got married? That's what you'll be asked. What did you expect when you got married? Like in Africa, as far as you when you get married, you consent. Like, there's no time that you can literally be hard-headed and say no, but it's like your husband can just have you whenever. Like, there's no consent. And I think that's what have been discouraging most people from marriage, especially because imagine and there's nothing bad about someone owning their partner, in my opinion, but like you still want to feel like you have like autonomy over your life. You have a say when it comes to what is happening to you, what's happening for you. Okay. God, Diamond says to God's son, love men and women often tend to draw the same type of toxic persons. Wow. Okay. God, honestly, like when it comes to, and I feel like so many married men usually say that their women, after they get married, they always have a headache when they want to have a sexual experience with them. You know why? Because you're always trying to force yourself. Okay, like, it's not, you know, see, like the way when people are dating is like she literally have to consent. You have to please her the whole day, buy her small chocolates and things like that, you know. Why don't people do that after you get married? Why do you feel like you can now just take her? Emma says, I had a story of a Muslim woman went to the police to report her husband for beating her. She was arrested for being out and about without the escort of her husband. What? Can you imagine that? That's literally crazy. Okay, the same person who just put his hands on her, she's supposed to be escorted by the same person? Really? Okay. God, I just feel for people who have to go through that. And you can't even have help from your country. You can't. Yeah. God. Okay. Okay. So, what was the question again? So, why do some people care about virginity while others don't? Okay, I think that questions you guys have answered. Why do some people care about virginity while others don't? Mm-hmm. Did I ask, would you marry someone who is not a virgin? Who isn't a virgin? Okay, Godson says, those countries with Sharia law are like a different world. I know. Okay. I don't know if it's, I don't want to mention the country because I don't want somebody to watch this and say that I'm lying. But I saw somewhere where, like, right now, this no part of the body of a woman is allowed to be seen. Like, you're supposed to cover yourself from head to toe. Okay. You should even wear gloves. Like, what? What? Who does that? Like, who does that? Why would you do that? Honestly, if I lived in a country where there's Sharia law, and I know when you go to these countries, you literally have to follow their rules and stuff. But honestly, I doubt it if I would. Because honestly, if it's a religion, I should choose if I want to do that. Okay? I always say don't try to shove religion down my throat. No. Emma says, God, I didn't know it had a name. Thank you. Sharia law, okay? God says, I have married a woman who wasn't a virgin before, and I will do it again. Oh, wow. And I think it's wild, especially because you're not a virgin. Like going around looking for a virgin is literally like, no, what are you thinking about? Like, okay, Diamas, would you marry a virgin? Would you go around looking for a virgin like you literally want to marry a virgin? Can I ask a question? It's on this subject. Yeah, feel free. And anyone can ask a question, okay? I have exhausted my question for just so you know. I've exhausted my questions because honestly, I didn't think this topic would last this long. I thought it would only last for a few minutes. Seems to be like a shallow topic. Yeah, you can ask the question. Guys, welcome to the live stream. We are talking about why is a woman's purity more important than his purity. Dema says, I would definitely marry a virgin. And that is the sort of question I want to ask. Would you go around looking for a virgin, knowing very well that you're not? Wow. Dema says, if you were able to choose with love, would you prefer to marry a virgin or a non-virgin? Everybody answer the question on the screen. If you were able to choose with love, would you prefer to marry a virgin or a non-virgin? Honestly, like at this point, like I think I think it's just fair for me to go with non-virgin because I just don't want to be with someone who reminds you that you're not a virgin. Like, no, that's just my view. That's just my view. Like, prefer to go with non-virgin. With love, yeah, non-virgin. Because for you to go with them, like literally, it's like you're just being unfair to them. God says taking almost, but you guys can answer the questions. God says taking a woman's virginity would be too much pressure. Ah, and it's too much weight. First of all, like women get attached to the first person that does that to them. Like, okay, first of all, if you know that you're not genuine, like, why would you do that? Unless he just tells you, like, I just want you to take it, like, but it's like, yeah. It's a lot of pressure. Tori says women in society values a man having many sexual experiences because it represents desirability and value, and a man looks for the opposite normally because it's less emotional or spiritual. Wow. Okay. Yeah. But see, I feel like we usually just look at the man as like the fact that he's only having sex with his body, not his mind. But the truth is, like, you guys also carry the spiritual loads when it comes to, like, I feel like a sexual experience is literally sacred, okay? And You carry the other person's demons. Just that's just what I believe. Someone who reminds you that you're not a virgin. That's just what it is. Like, honestly, that's just what it is. Like, you're just gonna be sitting there and yeah, out of nowhere, he says, you know, I'm a virgin. You know, I'm doing you a favor by being with you. You know, hey. Not to mention when it comes to disagreements, he's talking about like, oh, you've been no, no, thank you. No, keep your virginity to yourself, sir. Never says to God that if you're not sure you're going to marry them, massive pressure. Yeah, if you're not sure, like if you are sure, that's why maybe I would advise people to wait until marriage. Because if you're sure you're going to marry her and that's your woman, then it's like it's your responsibility to take that away from her. Okay? But if you know you're just a passing vehicle, no. Unless she looks for you, calls you and tells you, oh, I want you to do that. Like knowing the consequences, like you're not gonna be there. Okay? Oh, emotional and spiritual baggage. Let me read your thing again, Tony. Women in societal's values. Women values a man having many sexual experiences because it represents disability and value. And a man looks for opposite normally because there's less emotional and spiritual damage when it comes to the woman. Okay. Like she doesn't have a lot to compare to, does she? That's also another thing that I realized. Like men don't want their women to have a lot to compare to. Like they just want you just want to be the one that they know, like only you. But now, unfortunately, unless you show up when they are 17, 18, Wow. Diamond says to Tony, I actually agree with most of that, but I feel men want a virgin because they want that emotional tie, but to know it is purely tied to him only. Wow. Okay, yeah, especially if you end up marrying. But you know what, I feel like, let's say the generation of our parents, like the baby boomers, most of them got married as virgins. Okay, I think the whole experience of like exploring sex have just started with millennials, and now with Gen Z is even worse. Like I can't imagine what it will be like for Generation Alpha. But for the baby, most of them, especially here in African country, most of them were, their first experiences was with their husbands, okay? Was there any reward? No, okay? But when you look at most children out here, literally know their fathers. Why? Because virginity was valued, purity was valued, which means these women, literally their first time they had a sexual experience is with their husbands, okay? Which means in any case, if they fall pregnant, they literally know their fathers, okay? I was watching Koramo show. It's a US show, okay? The number of women in the US who don't know the fathers of their children is literally like, wow. Honestly, I don't know anyone in real life who doesn't know the father of their child. To be really honest, I know single mothers, but they literally know who is the father of their children. Most probably they were married and then it was abusive and one had to leave. But honestly, I watched that show with my mouth open because honestly, I don't know that many people who don't know who their fathers are. Okay, just because maybe the mother had different sexual experiences within the same month and all of that. So as far as I want to sit here and say that that like, oh my god, that shouldn't be what that shouldn't be the case, like woman's virginity, that shouldn't. I also want to acknowledge what that did for the society. That gave the society the thing, like where everybody knew their father, to be really honest. Okay, and I think most of us, Generation Z, millennials, and we all know who our fathers are. Most of us. Okay? But this society, the one that we are creating right now, is literally dangerous. Okay, I can already see people on television looking for their fathers, trying to get to do DNAs and stuff like that, to researching on ancestry DNA. Honestly, like that's bad. Like, honestly, you can be a, I feel like you can be a single parent, but you literally need to know who this child belongs to. I would literally, honestly, I would never keep a child who I don't know their father, to be really honest. uh Tony says Western society promotes hypersexuality through movies, sports, praise. And let me tell you, when I was in campus, even like, okay, unfortunately, most of maybe the sexual experiences that I had in campus, I maybe you used to watch something on Netflix and then you really want to try it out, okay? Then you're here seeing somebody sleeping with 5 men in one night, and then you're like, maybe that's not a bad thing. So you just go. And honestly, it's working. It's working because even right here, even here in African countries, people are starting to do that. And that was not something like, even if I want to sit here and talk about like men should stop sexualizing women, men should stop like having these double standards, men should stop telling women who they are or what they should do. But what we are talking about, especially when it comes to children who become as a result of the sexual experiences, you literally see the damage. You see what the other experience where like the woman was supposed to be pure, you see what that did. And what were the consequences? The consequences were everybody knew who their father was. The consequences were, even if a woman ends up being a single mother, these children literally know who their father is. Like, there's no doubt about that. Okay, but see, the DNA companies will not have any job if the movies do not promote that. Okay, so I do agree with you, Tony. Like, the movies, they are literally promoting that. Hollywood things and all of that. Diamond says, I watched a talk show once where the mother didn't know the father of her child. She truly believed it was her husband, but her DNA test proved she was wrong. Our society today is bad. Very bad, honestly. And not to sit here and like bash people who don't, but honestly, like, it's literally honestly, for me, you guys don't judge me, but as a person, I would literally never keep a pregnancy that I don't know who the father is. Honestly, if I am confused, I would literally no. Like, can you imagine waiting for you to give birth and see who it looks like? Let's say you had a Mexican, you had a black person, you had a white person in the mix, and an Asian person. Can you imagine that, waiting to give birth and looking? Uh, can you imagine looking at the what is it called? As the child grow up, you are like, oh my god, are these eyes Asian? Are they black? Like, can you imagine that? God, that no. And the fact that now most probably you've told all of them that you might be a father, you might be a father, you might be a father, you might be... Honestly, that experience honestly would just shock me. It would just send me into shockwaves. Shimp. Ah, Tony's Dema says to Tony Fox. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Omboy. Can you like the live stream and subscribe? Thank you so much for being here. We're talking about why is a woman's purity more important than a man's purity. Shimpoku says chat is blocking your face. Please tilt the camera down. I don't think so. Okay. Dema says right there. That's the problem with our society. You said you don't want to bash anyone. We need to start bashing people and not accepting any behavior that people choose. Wrong is wrong, on it, okay? But it's not, but you know why I say that? Because that could literally be me, okay? But I'm just saying, if I'm not sure, especially when it comes to a child, you all know how I feel about children and how I feel like children are something that is very valuable and treasurable, and I just wouldn't want to like put my child in such a position. And because that's the fact, if it is me, like, no, that's no. Tony says having is the most intimate act two people can ever have, yet it seems like the people influencing these words wants to imprint otherwise in people's head. Okay, let me tell you, like, right now you're just being told, and if you're not having such experiences, if you're not laying down with everyone that you meet, you're just being seen as like you are, what is it called, you're, what's the word, maybe uncivilized. You even seem like you're not uncivilized. If you're not doing that, you're not having sexual experiences. If you're telling people, oh, you know what, I'm being celibate, everybody's like, what? Why would you do that? Like, what? No, no. Okay. Yeah, and I know that's, yeah, that's very intimate. Okay, I think that's very intimate, and yeah, unfortunately it's not anymore. It still is, but most people don't see it like that. Like, that's why we are literally discouraging even marriages and stuff like that, because people think that you should have all the experiences out there. Uh yeah okay, yeah, because when you think about it, that's you penetrating somebody, and that's another person being penetrated by, literally, like, how intimate, how more intimate does it get? Like, yeah. Okay, unfortunately we are in this world where that's the case. Diamond says prude. Did you say prude or rude? Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. We're still talking about why is a woman's purity more important than a man's purity. Okay, why is a woman's purity more important than a man's purity? Okay, if you have a question, ask me. Wow. Diamond says to Tony, it's on the money today. Tony is on the money today. Multiple partners used to be shameful. Now it's a badge of honor. Men have always cheated. Men have always cheated on their wives, but they used to be ashamed of it. Now they brag. Okay? Let me tell you, even when you're in a, okay, when you're even in a group of people, like, you're just hearing people give their experience, then you're like, god, I need to try that, I need to try that. But see, I feel like also men did drive women to start doing what women are doing right now, because women were always the people who stay at home, stay obedient, give birth, 5 6 children for this man, and then what do you get in return? You get ashamed, you get disrespected, you get beat, you get all those things, you get all those things. Okay, so I feel like in return women started to be the same things that men were. Okay, now men are sad because women are doing the same things that they were doing. Shimpoku says to Dimas, isn't it distracting when the chat is blocking the face? I don't think it is. Let me see if it is. Oh, but Diamond, you're using a PC, right? Because mine, I have a laptop here. My chat is on the side. Like, I don't know. Oh god, I just dropped the, see, the chat is on the side. So you're using a phone. Anybody else who is using a phone to tell us, like, is my face being blocked by the chat? Because honestly, what I see on my phone, is the only part that is being hidden by the chat is from here to here. Like my face, you can literally see my face. Javier Lewis, hey you, welcome back to the live stream. What do you think about the topic? Why is her purity more important than his? Okay. Diamond says, prude, when a person is resistant to sexual experiences. Okay. Tony Ban says, in my HS, most dudes rather, if they truly wanted on, not were on 24/7 hand to lose their, to not be seen as lame. Okay. My high school in 2019 was literally insane. Which year did you finish high school? Did we finish high school the same year? Because I finished high school in 2019 also. Wow. Okay, see, and I was just telling you guys, like when I was in high school, I used to hear, of course, I'm a village girl and I went to a boarding school. I used to hear these girls telling each other, oh my God, like, oh my God, I lost my virginity the other day, like, and I lost my virginity during the holiday. And they would plan and all of that. And I'm like, God, maybe I should. Is it something that I should do? Okay. Wow. Um, Yes, that's what mine looks like. Daiwa says he's right. I pulled up on my phone. The top of the chart is at your nose. Wow. Oh my God. Now what will we do? How about that? Uh Tony says, Diamonds, the shame has dissipated. Yeah, there's no shame anymore. Shame have left the chart, okay? And I think we are literally preaching not to be ashamed, okay? Talk about these things. But honestly, I like the society that, okay, I don't like that we have lost shame in the things that we should be ashamed about, but it's literally unfortunate that, like, the things that we should, you know, for example, menstrual like periods, women's periods, okay, that have been something that you literally could not talk about, okay. And I just feel like the fact that we can talk about that right now is literally good, but the fact that we have now normalized everything, you cannot shame anyone for anything, okay. um Tony says I graduated in 2021, COVID graduate. Wow. Oh, high school. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. So, but I think you did say that you're 22, which means, yeah, it makes sense. I graduated before COVID. You guys graduated after COVID. That says perfect. Godson says, I graduated 05. You graduated high school 05. Huh? Wow, that's old. That's old. Oh my God. Diamond says to Shimpoku, good call, mate. Okay. I hope you can see me now. Okay. Hope you can literally see me very well. Oh my God. So, so what would you say in, like, in conclusion when it comes to this topic? What would you say when it comes to, like, why is her purity more important than his? What would you say? What would you want people to stop doing or to start doing? So what should you say in conclusion? And if you have a question in regards to this topic, let me know. So what would you say in conclusion? Why is her virginity more important than his? Diamond says you cannot shame anyone for anything. Exactly. That is my point. We society needs to get back to ostracizing immoral people, okay? Okay, yeah. I think I like the fact, the thing is, I like the fact, you know, for us women, I think we were being shamed for so many things, okay? You are shamed for, let's say, you messed on your pants. I think it's still not the best experience. If you mess your pants right now, it's not the best experience. But still, at least right now, like, there's no shame in that. That's something that's happened to almost every woman, okay? Giving birth, that's not something to be ashamed of. Like, you just brought up life, and I like the fact that that's out there. But I think we are literally normalizing, for example, women not knowing who the father of their children are. That's something that we should not normalize, honestly. Like, and I know most women would come for me, but honestly, like, I just don't feel like it's right. It's okay if you know who the father is, but the father just decides to, like, run and not take responsibility, but at least you know who it is, okay? But can you imagine that you're trying to look through 20 dudes trying to see who it is, like trying to look, oh, this nose looks like so and so, you know, this the tongue, you know, that guy has a blue tongue and this child has a blue tongue, okay? Like, the eyes, you know, that's literally so unfair, okay? But thanks to DNA, we can literally know what it is. But it's literally shameful for you to have to go through like 30 dudes to know who it is, okay? Shimpoku says purity for women involves the risk of pregnancy. Wow. Okay, and you know what? We did talk about that, like historically, like that allowed men to know when a woman is pregnant that the children belongs to him. Okay, wow. But I see that. I see that. So it was always about pregnancy. Okay, because I know men don't like raising other people's children. Okay, okay. Let's start this topic this way. Okay, would you marry a woman with? Okay, so let's say in a scenario you like someone, you love someone, but they have a child who is not biologically yours. Would you would you still marry them in that scenario? Okay, because Shimpoku brought something that's really deep. Purity for women involves the risk of pregnancy. Okay, like when you sleep around, you're getting pregnant. Godson says people shouldn't emphasize virginity as much anymore. That's wow, 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 wow. That's deep. Yeah. People shouldn't emphasize virginity as much anymore. I think so. I also think so. Like, and also if we are going to emphasize, let us emphasize for both parties. Let's stop like just talking about as if virginity is only supposed to be something women have. Okay, if you're gonna talk about virginity, let's talk about it fairly. Let's talk about both parties. Okay, if you're gonna be talking about virginity, let's talk about men and women. Let's stop talking about only one party. Okay, but the thing is, I think something that like patriarchal society forgets is also the fact that men can also make women pregnant. Okay, Tony says Diamonds 100%. Tony, but something else that I realized for men who have been like married their whole entire life, let's say even they didn't have sexual experiences, but that's very common in my village. Like they just got married and that was it. You find these men are pretty much focused because they are not out there trying to look for somebody to sleep with. So what they have to do after you get your person is focus on that person, focus to build an empire with them. Okay, Tony says shame creates insecurities, which pushes people to go forward with potential, damaging regrets in the long or short run. Shame creates insecurities, which pushes people to go forward with potential, damaging regrets. Okay. Yeah, it does. Okay, and that's why I feel like I like the fact that like we are literally a shameless society right now. We even have songs. Okay, you cannot shame the shameless. Oh, I think that's a Swahili song or something. It goes like, you literally cannot shame the shameless. Okay, you can try to shame me, and maybe that's something that I'm not ashamed about. So you cannot shame the shameless. So, but okay, so you cannot shame the shameless. So that's a thing. Okay, it does create insecurities, but maybe shame was a good thing because it made people to do the right things at the right time. Uh-huh. Shimpoku says one boy who has the other half of your heart necklace. Aha, my fiance. Ooh, you're so observant. That's why you are saying that it's uncomfortable for you to have the chat on top of my face. Anyway. Okay, so anyone else with like a question or something? What I would say when it comes to this topic, I would literally want to back Godson. What he said, that like we should stop emphasizing virginity like we do. Okay, I don't think it's that serious. Okay, and emphasizing that just for selfish reasons is literally just insane. Like, stop doing that for selfish reasons. Okay, if you literally want somebody who is, no, if you happen to find someone and you find out like, oh my god, they are literally a virgin, that's okay, but that doesn't have to be the case. Okay, that doesn't have to be case. Okay, congratulations on your relationship, oh boy, god bless you. Okay, thank you so much. um Diamond says to Tony, I'm trying to wrap my mind around what you stated about shame creating insecurities, but I don't get it. Can you expound? Wow. Okay, can you expound? Let's wait on that. You expounding. uh Grand Mobile. Grand Mobile 254. Godson. Ooh. Why are you laughing? What's your opinion, Grand Mobile? What's your opinion when it comes to the topic? Why is her virginity more important than his? What's your opinion when it comes to the same? Guys, welcome to the live stream. If you just joined in, kindly like the live stream and subscribe. We are waiting for Tony to expound on something right there about insecurities. Although I think I already wrapped my mind around it, but let's hear from the horse's mouth. uh Okay, let me come with main account just a minute. Okay. Diamond says, like the lives, share the love, sub the Queen Hujambo from Kenya. Thank you so much. Oh my god, this topic, I thought it would be like short-lived because people don't like having uncomfortable conversation. Thank you, every one of you who have been, what is it called? Brave enough to even have the conversation. Okay. Okay, I'm back. It's Lex. Okay. So, why is her virginity more important than his? Why is her virginity more important than his? Okay, guys, in the meantime, you can be like telling us your conclusion. When it comes to this topic, what would you say in conclusion? Okay. So I feel like also when it comes to like purity and all of that, that's also a religious conversation, especially when it comes to like, for example, like Muslim Islam, like the conversation around purity is something that is so deep. Okay, you know, I've seen women, so I don't know if I'm allowed to say this here on YouTube. I have seen Muslim people who like they will not allow to have, because they are not allowed to be not be virgins during marriage, so they just decide to have like anal sex before marriage with other men, so that when the real men come around, when the man that she will marry will find her a virgin, but the truth is she's been having anal sex all this time. Okay, it's literally bad. Like I feel like also virginity is literally a religious topic, and we cannot just talk about it as if it's just political without even looking at the way this topic is literally also religious. The way we say that a person's body is the temple for the Holy Spirit, but why is it that like the woman's body is the temple of the Holy Spirit? Is it because the man's body is a temple for the devil? What is it about? Okay, we can talk about this topic without looking at religion also. Daima says, this is a great topic. I was little ashamed actually that I never thought about it or had an issue with it. But as a man, why would I? But as a feminist, I should. Okay, wow. Tony says to Daimas, in high school, some people were ashamed for lack of experience, status among others, especially amongst the men, okay? Which made people feel less than as man and developed insecurity, which pushed them into erratic lifestyles. Okay, I think for the man, you're literally, I think and this the whole other thing about men wanting to like sit around as a group and just talk about their sexual experiences, that's literally one. And I think that have made men to be who they are not. Okay, men to hurt women. Like how many have you hit like that thing, like even sexualize, looking at women as objects just so that you can come and tell a group is literally wild. So yeah, I feel you Tony, and I hope, Dimas, your question was answered. Okay. Yeah, so in high school, the sexual experiences is literally something that is so that it's like for a prize. Okay. Dema says yes, well stated. Usually I agree with you, so I knew why I when I didn't wasn't understanding. You're so on target. Yeah, okay. Wow, I don't know what you men have to go through, especially if you have not had so many experiences. But I just want to say that, like, you, even as a man, you should literally know that the experiences that you are having, sexually or not sexually, are literally your own experiences. Okay, you are allowed not to have so many experiences. You're allowed to just love one woman. You're allowed to do that. You don't have to, like, when they ask your body, you don't have to say a huge number just so that you can be seen that you've had experiences. But who am I to even advise that? I'm not even a man. It's like says, I'm trying to find points, but they're not coming. But all I say is virginity matters to every gender, but it's good to have experience. Okay, would you want your woman to have experiences? Would you want your woman to have experiences? And how many would you want your woman to have? You know, because we are talking about experiences, yes, but are we only talking about experiences when it comes to men? You know, wow, this topic. Okay, I usually like dog. I like us to have every conversation that can be had, because if we are talking about it's some place where we just come and converse about anything, I want us to be able to have any conversation. But I usually feel like sometimes maybe by having this uncomfortable conversation, it's like you kind of like exclude a group of people who don't want to talk about stuff like that. But I feel like, why should we feel, but most of us are doing these things? Why are we like acting like that it does not happen? It does happen. Okay. I'm waiting for you, Lex. So you're saying we should have experiences, but do you want to have experiences, or do you even want the lady that you will end up with to have experiences? Okay, so I think as we part short, or like as we conclude this topic, well, all I would say is, um it's I think the whole virginity topic is literally a religious topic, but we don't want to look at it that way. All this is about things that imaginations. It's a religious topic. It's also a political topic. It's also a health topic. God, this topic fits in so many dimensions, and the fact that there's so many influences. But you can look at this topic without thinking about religion. Okay, so honestly, if somebody is going to be accepting of these laws, it also depends with what they believe in, like the religion that they go to and all of that. Okay, but you know what? As a person, to be really honest, I refuse to have religion tell me what I'm gonna be doing with my body, to be really honest. Because what you realize is, for example, in the Old Testament, or even, okay, let's even stop looking at Christianity. When you look at Islam, a woman during her menses, she's literally unclean. She's supposed to be secluded until she gets clean. And when she gets clean, she's supposed to clean herself from head to toe to remove the uncleanliness. Okay, after a woman gives birth, she's unclean for 40 days. Okay, and until she cleans herself on the 40th day, that woman is not clean to, like, you see the way we like demonize the experiences that women have is literally. So what all I'm gonna say is, like, these topics, they are religious topics. Diamond says, I'm okay with my lady having experiences. However, I don't want her to have more experiences than I do. I would prefer that she had zero experience. Okay, wow. Gonson says, okay, I'm gonna return to work. Talk to you next time, Wamboy, in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, we are also concluding when it comes to this. Okay, You'd prefer her to have zero experiences, okay? I think, who am I waiting for her to type? Let me give you like 2 minutes for you to type its likes. I think I asked you a question that Diamonds answered, okay? But you guys, we are literally concluding. Make sure you're sharing my videos with your friends. Tony says, I think these things are much more spiritual than we want to admit. Soul ties, energy transfer, talking on each other's demons. That's it, okay? You know, during sexual experiences, you're just there saying, okay, like, do this, do that, you know, all those things that you guys, that people shout, okay? It's honestly, this is an experience, and I feel like you should literally even study somebody before you have experiences with them, okay? Because I feel like most women end up feeling awful after having sexual experiences, especially with complete strangers. You're just like, what did I just do? Like, what? No, no. And I feel like sexual experiences have more effects on, like, more negative effects on women than positive. Like, especially if there is no aftercare, that guy doesn't care. You know, if you don't care, you're just gonna keep walking after you satisfy yourself. You're gonna keep walking, okay? So yeah, I think these topics, as Tony said, they are spiritual and they are religious, okay? These topics are literally religious and they are spiritual, but we are not willing to agree with that. Deva says, heck, forget theology as a whole. Historically, society has never looked or cared about a man's virginity. Quite to the opposite. Man's virility was a mark of his manhood, his ability to provide. Okay, what? Godson says, good talk, mate. Okay. Tony Van says, you just answered the first question of the life of this life, okay? The question was, why is her virginity more important than his? And Diamond said, forget theology as a whole. Historically, society has never looked or cared about a man's virginity. Quite to the opposite, a man's virility was a mark of his manhood, his ability to provide, okay? So even if you have like 10 wow, okay? So I think we just solved the question, like that was just answered the question, you know. So what we are gonna do is, like, we're gonna end the live stream right here. Thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out with me. Oh my god, I like having this. Honestly, I just feel like you guys are my family, because we usually have this conversation here and there. Oh my god, I am just doing a lot of growing, but also by getting into the man's mind, okay, getting into you guys' mind. Thank you so much. Make sure you're liking and commenting, and also share the videos. Hopefully we're gonna get monetized soon. Just hoping, okay? So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and until next time, bye bye. Bye bye. I'm not gonna give you guys a chance to tell me bye. See you next time. See you tomorrow. Daima says, so good to be here. I've missed this place, and Wamboy, the commentators, love the knowledge. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming back. It's been like almost 2 months. No, I have not been seeing you on the channel. Thank you so much. Tony says, it's been a while since I've been here. It was refreshing. Thank you so much. So you guys, I'm gonna see you next time. So have yourself a great day and a great night, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.